let's start with the blue team report. My name is Ashish and the date is 11/8/2024. So let's looking at the rubrics first. So infrastructure and the network segments. So let's go through the infrastructure I had for this lab. So, so if I go here, so I have firewall, Shaw machine, my admin machine, DC, file server, firehole, internal machine, web server, and my file server. So if I show you the LAN segments, it have 5 segments. LAN segment 1, which is connected to the Shaw machine, then the DC, LAN 2, LAN 3 to the file server. LAN 4 has the Pi-hole and internal machine, and LAN 5 has the DMZ machines like the web server and the database file server. And simultaneously, the Shaw has LAN 1 and act as the primary member for the PFSense control machine. Then the DC has lane 2, like this, lane 3. Then Pi-hole is LAN 4. I missed this one, so this one is the 3, as I said. Yeah, 3 1. And then Pi-hole I did. LAN segment has 4 because those two are brothers. Then I have web server here, which is on DMZ interface. DMZ. So this was my infrastructure and my LAN segments exactly like this one. So then so in my red team report, if I go through that, I had many ports which were vulnerable in my machines. So there were like in my show machine, I had like 135 TCP ports open and RCP, NetBIOS, and many of the ports are unsecured and very high risk factors which are enabled in my machines. And like this, I had on DC2, there are many ports which were open randomly. And these were few ports like 53, 88 Kerberos, which were very important for domain connection, but still they were open to it. So for these resolution, I put some restricted IPs. Like I have like 5 IPs here, which start from like 192.168.1.0, which is LAN segment 1 IP subnet. Then I have for LAN 2 is 2.0.24, like 3.0/24, like this. So I restricted all of those. Let's do that first. So if I go in my Kali again first, let's show you like I don't have vulnerabilities now. So, and if I put my Shaw machine phone bridge for a sec, just for demonstration. So if I go here, I zoom it, start with sudo su. So let's do the one only. So let's wait for this one. In the meanwhile, I have enabled firewall with more extra precise rules which have controlled IP range, which only consist IP of my area, like my interface, not all IP are allowed. So let's show you. And meanwhile, let's see if this is still going on. So you can see there's no port available and all the port were scanned and were in ignore state. So no open port is right now there. So like that. And I have updated my system to the latest version of the window. So Okay, so this one is having some issue. I have put the screenshot in the appendix of the Blue Team report where I have shown like updating it because I think this version of Windows having some issue in installation, but I have already updated all the patches in all of my window, including Shaw to file server 8 Windows. I have made the password policies. Uh, let's go with the DC now. So putting it back to my lane segment because we have demonstration to show. DC. So we have used a mixed password here, which consists of symbols, capital and small letters and a number, which is very hard to guess and to brute force. We have used the normal passwords. So coming here, then we have some group policies here to manage our users. So we have strong encryption in which we have the policy rule in which we have to make a complex password, not a simple password. Then I think yeah, I made it in the default policy here. So yeah, I have a strong policy here right now, which is enabled. And then I have users. Then moving on to the other security aspect, which we did in this one was, um, which was content filtering using Snort to use against blocking denial service attacks and the Pi-hole for the pornography website and the gambling one. So let's do that first. So if I go on my here, if I go on the interface services, Snort, just a minute. Yep. So if I go on the services, then this node. So I have all these four ports enabled on traffic. And if you see here on the actions, I can show you my custom rules, which have block SYN flood attacks, which have here, then the UPD flood attack, ICMP flood attacks. So these are the which can monitor these attacks and can help in preventing these one. And I have enabled all of these in each of the interface, and they are working perfectly fine. And now if I go here, same rules here, confirm and done. And like this, we have here too. Yeah, so this one was not rules. Then moreover, I also configured the PF blocker too, enabled. And now going on PF sense for our content filtering. So this one was the part of our phase 2 where we have to block all the sites. So this is the Pi-hole admin page where we can block all the websites here. So like I have blocked some websites here. And if I want to add one more block list, so I can say like, suppose www.gamble.com, and I'm going to say block this gambling website and add to blacklist. So it's come here and now it is blacklist. So now my internal machine can't access this website no more here. So I don't know that website exists or not. So let's do the one which I know exists. So let's go for the stake one. We can't reach this page. Okay, so apart from that, now let's see how we have closed the ports. So I told you in the beginning. So let's show the demonstration. So basically what I did was like there were a number of ports which were open like TCP, UDP, 135, 139, 88. So what they were fully opened and there were no restriction over them. So my infrastructure is very much restricted to to the IP address we have. Like we have like for the LAN one we have 192.168.1.0 subnet. Then for LAN 2 I used 192.168.2.0 subnet, and for the similarly 3.0 for the LAN 3, 4.0 for LAN 4, and 5.0 for the LAN 5, which is our DMZ. So they were very open to any of the subnets. So I just put a restriction that they are only available to those internets. So now, other than those five subnets or network groups, nobody can access those things. So let's see that what I have done in those things too to prevent the open port and to making open ports to the secure ports. So let me do some more scans for other machines, and I will give you screenshots in my report to say like I have done all the scans. So if I go with the DC here, and so nothing scanned here, okay, my bad. And then I will tell you what I have done in the security area to make my port secure in my machines. So now I think it can work. So in the meanwhile, this one is working. I can show you. So DC was our main segment here. Just sorry. So DC was our main machine here because DC had most of the rules enabled because it has to enable DNS, Kerberos, LDAP, and other protocols so that other machine can join the database, the domain name. So that's why those were the most unsecure machine was DC in our this infrastructure. So I have to enable all of those rules for our internal subnets. So suppose I have enabled the DNS for internal subnets. If I go here and I can say the scope, so you can see only these are enabled here like this. I have other rules too, which are only enabled to these IP address. And you can see net BIOS also here enabled. So the main challenge with DC was this one, and I have blocked all the external DNS. So like any other external one will be blocked. We are not allowing anyone apart from these one. So you can see I have enabled for internal and blocked for the other one. And then I have done the DNS is restricted to only the IPs, trusted IPs. So the only the six IP, the five subnets we have, DNS will be to those only. So we have done these ones successful in the DC, and we can see there is nothing wrong with DC with us. Now all the ports are scanned and are ignored state. But if in the red report, if you have seen it, obviously you would have seen that there were many ports open. So that was the first thing. Then coming to the file server. So our file server is the only machine which was the least vulnerable because you said in the phase two that we have to move file server to the DMZ file server. So this was the machine which have nothing running on it. So it has no port open. So it was the least vulnerable in our whole system. Let me show you this one too. So file server and map. Okay. So yeah, this one. Oh, my bad. So sorry. So if I go here to it, I forget every time. So yeah, I think now this will work. So in the meanwhile, yeah, so after those machine, then the vulnerable one was FTP server because it has the FTP protocol open. So let's do this one again. So I will do it first. I don't want to forget it this time. So this one I have enabled successfully, and this one is still going on. So let me explain the protocols which I use here. So same here with FTP2. So it had FTP enabled for all of the IP. So that part was vulnerable in this machine. So any of it can affect it. And if you again in the red report, I seen there was a screenshot of exploit where the other person, the exploit person, the attacking machine has exploited it using the anonymous, and it said the anonymous FTP was open somehow. So I think those were things which were the little gaps between these things. So FTP was a problem here. So I restricted it again. So let me show you again. So this one is RPC. Sorry, I misclicked. So see, the remote IPs are enabled, and for the external one, I have blocked. So no other can have it. So if I go here on the Kali, so this was our 3.10, which is the file server, nothing wrong with that. All good. Now let's go to the file server. So I will say FTP. Okay, FTP, and then going here with 5.10. So I'm showing you all the main machines which were involved here. And other one, I will put screenshots as much as I can in my file to make it not too much big, but a good report. So this one, and then we will go on the internal machine too, because internal machine is a place where all other users have to log in to reach their data. So the last machine which was vulnerable was this one, but there was no major protocol running on this one, so this was very easy to fix. But the main was DC, Shaw, and the file server. After this one, let's just let me log in through it. So again, the as I said in the beginning of my video, each of them are updated. These were some update which are not updating. I have screenshots. Will give you the report. So all the system is updated till new date, and you can see all 100 ports are in ignored state. Nothing wrong with it. So yeah. So now going with so in the end for the vulnerability, security, and everything, so firewall is on, as you can see here. Oh, it's taking time. So let me summarize quickly. So what I have done is I have blocked unnecessary ports. The ports which were very necessary to us to provide us services, I have put the limited IPs there, so they can be bounded within the range we have. So no other IP can infiltrate with that. I have put the password policies, which enables a strong password hold on each of them. I have updated all the system patch with the new patch, so they have latest security patches in each system, so nobody can unpatch those and exploit our system. And I have provided the pi hole with the new IPs to block all the machines. And I have Snort and PF blocker working on my firewall actively 24-hour. So it actively blocks and detects the traffic coming from the WAN to our machines. So that was everything for the demonstration. Now I will demonstrate my phase two, like all the VMs, like they are working perfectly fine. They have internet access to each of the machine and other thing. So yeah, this one till this part, it was all about blue team, the exploitation and everything. Now let's see the password policies again. Like I think like in the previous, I haven't showed you fully. So let's go on the GPO policy in my DC. So I have enabled two policies right now. One is for the audit, like it audit every change, whatever user do is, whether it's a login or a policy or any changes. And one is a strong encryption password. So the last, I think because yeah, because this was defined in our instructions that we have to put a strong password policy. So if you can see here, if I go on configuration, so you can see the minimum character length should be 12 characters, and the password age is 30 days, minimum 29, and complexity is enabled. So user can't make a simple password. It has to be complex. After that, there was one more policy, which is monitoring policy. And this one, if I go, so this one monitors everything. So let me show you details for this one too. So you can see account log on, event management, everything is under audit. So whatever we do, we get the audit of everything. So these were my password policies, and you can see the website is not reachable here. Let's try another one. Dot stake. Until the moment it comes here, let's look at other part of the video. So firewall. So this is my Pi-hole and internal machine one, which is my LAN 4. So I have some specified rule here, like these below one are to enable DNS and HTTP ports here, so it can have the internet access from the WAN WAN interface. And these are some of the rules which were put in accordingly according to phase 2, so that the Pi-hole can access the DNS query and etc. So now let's go to the show one first too. Show one, these are again, भैया इसका नहीं कटा क्या? एक second. So these are the show rules, and below are the again ICMP rules to enable internet access, which are like TCP, UDP, and ICMP. And the above are the rules for blocking direct access to site, because show machine doesn't access direct access, allowing DZM web and FTP service, and blocking all traffic from other LANs. Now going to the domain controller. So again, these are the internet access rules, and these are the default rules which were asked by a by professor, like allowing traffic by Pi-hole, now accepting traffic from Shaw like that. And in the last DMZ interface, the internet one, and these are the default one, which allow FTP, HTTP, and block other traffics from other VMs. And these are all the rules which I had here. And now looking at the website, oh, this can't be reachable. So that's everything for now.